Welcome, everybody. My name is Stacia, and this week we have made it to Friday the 13th, Part 6, Jason Lives. And if you remember in Part 5, a movie that I did not like at all, Jason wasn't really Jason. It was a Jason impersonator. And this one is Return to Form, where Jason is coming back. This movie comes in at a tight 1 hour and 26 minutes, and it is the shortest film in the Jason franchise. We continue to have the character of Tommy in this movie, who has survived the last two movies. It's one of the only reoccurring characters in the Jason franchise, besides Jason Voorhees himself and Alice from the first movie appearing at the beginning of the second movie just to be killed. Tommy, as we all know by now, was a little kid in the first movie, which was the fourth Jason movie, or Friday the 13th, the final chapter, and he was played by a young Corey Feldman, who was fantastic in the role. He was played by Corey Feldman again in the last movie, Jason 5, but only for the very beginning of the movie. And then there was a time jump of about 5 years. So he could be played by a different person because Corey Feldman went on to bigger and better things for his childhood acting career. And this one is another few years in the future from the last movie. Tommy is a young adult this time instead of a teenager. He is still listed as being in and out of mental institutions, but he's out now, and he believes the only way to get past this is to dig up Jason's body and cremate it. And that's where everything goes wrong. When he digs up Jason's body to bring Jason back to life, they kind of Frankenstein the story, where it's during a thunderstorm and Jason gets hit by lightning, or Jason's body gets hit by lightning, and it magically resurrects Jason to go on another killing spree. And this time it's back at Crystal Lake. He is after Tommy because he doesn't kill Tommy in the beginning, and goes on another camp counselor killing spree. So return to Jason form, bringing it back to the camp counselors, bringing it back to Crystal Lake, harkening back to the original movie. And this one is a lot better than the last one. This is definitely one of the better Friday the 13th movies. So this time, Tommy is played by Thom Mathews, which is the third person to play the character of Tommy. He is in his 20s this time, seemingly. They never really exactly say his age. But after resurrecting Jason, sorry if you hear the background, that is my dog, Max, drinking water very loudly. Did you get your water? So anyways, Tommy is played by the third person to play him, Thom Mathews. He plays Tommy. After he unintentionally resurrects Jason, he goes to the sheriff's office and tries to tell them that Jason is back. He accidentally resurrected him from the dead, and everybody's in danger, including him. He is sure Jason is after him for revenge. But of course, he sounds crazy, and he's been in and out of mental institutions since he was a little kid, so he gets locked up. And Sheriff Garris in this movie, played by David Kagen, is the father of one of the camp counselors. He's the father of Megan, played by Jennifer Cooke, who some people might be familiar with for her role in the 80s miniseries V, very popular at the time. Like I said, she's going to be one of the camp counselors at Crystal Lake, which has been renamed to Camp Forest Green. The whole town has been renamed to Forest Green. This is the first time you really hear them talk about the past since the second movie and the killings that went on and Jason. They're aware of Jason. This also doesn't run concurrently like the second, third, and fourth film did, where they all took place in a few days after the killings in the second movie. But the town is trying to move on with the new name. They don't like a reference to Crystal Lake or Camp Blood, as the camp has been called. And of course, to try to put it behind them, what would you do? You would open up another camp in the same spot and get camp counselors back there again, get little kids around there again. Of course you would. You would want to open a camp even if you changed its name to Forest Green, where several dozen young adults have been murdered. It's logical. But this does set it up for Jason to be able to come back to the camp. He kills lots of people in the area, not only camp counselors, he kills a group of people who are on a work retreat where they're paintballing in the forest together. He kills police officers. He doesn't kill little kids, although there are actually kids in the camp this time for this one, unlike the other ones where they're just setting up the camp for the kids. This one actually has little kids in it, but they don't go as far as to put little kids in that day. They don't show Jason actively going after little kids. Teenagers, older teenagers, early 20s, fine. Actual little kids, not fine. And as the previous ones that I've called them, the fourth one I called the horny one. The fifth one I called the one with all the boobs. This one is the one with no boobs, no nudity. It stands out for that. There is one sex scene, no nudity in it, which is a departure for a Friday the 13th movie. This movie is also directed by a new director, Thom McLoughlin, who actually wrote the script for this movie. And the studio, still Paramount Studios, gave one directive because of how poorly the fifth one was regarded, because the fake out of it not really being Jason as the killer. So they said, you have to come up with a way to bring Jason back and make him the killer. So this is how you get your Frankenstein story of Jason getting hit by lightning and bringing him back to life and feeding into the supernatural Jason story. And Jason seems stronger, more invincible in this one, sort of, superhero movie villainesque in this one. And I'll say this for Thom McLoughlin, he seems like he actually likes movie making, is a fan of film, which I do think this makes it one of the better movies in the franchise. There are several subtle nods to horror movies of the past, even the original Friday the 13th film. For people in this movie that become successful in the future, there's really only one that has a long-standing career, and this is his first movie. This is the first movie of Tony Goldwyn, who would, of course, go on to have one of the main roles in the movie Ghost. Also, of course, his role in Scandal, the TV show, and he is a Nepo baby himself from the famous Hollywood Goldwyn family, from the G and MGM, from Samuel Goldwyn Pictures of Hollywood beginnings. Also, with some people, you'll notice in the very beginning of the movie, killed off rather quickly. We have Horshack from Welcome Back, Kotter, for anybody who was a fan of Welcome Back, Kotter in the 70s. So for budget, this film was still made for about $3 million. They did a lot of cost cutting to get that in there at $3 million, much to the director's disagreement. He wasn't trying to make an expensive Jason movie, but there was severe cost cutting because the last movie not doing as well as the previous movies. Like I said before in my previous review, it still made money. It was still successful-ish, but way less than the movies before it. And leading into that, this is the first Friday the 13th movie that makes less than $20 million at the box office. It only made about $19.5 million at the box office. And still, even though this is considered one of the better Friday the 13th movies, it's still no critical darling. It's not like critics went, you know, this is better than the last one. We're going to give it a pass. That didn't happen. They still, as with most of these slasher movies of the 80s, did not like it. But for you heavy metal fans, you might like the soundtrack to this movie. It does lean into the glam rock heavy metal scene of the 80s. And the theme song is done by Alice Cooper. Plus, it has Alice Cooper's Teenage Frankenstein. I think the theme song is called He's Back, the Man Behind the Mask. So that was specifically written for this movie. We also have the Alice Cooper song Hard Rock Summer in this. But the composer of the score of Jason is still done by Harry Manfredini. And in a shift from the previous couple of movies, this movie, instead of being filmed in California like the third, fourth, and fifth one, and then the first two movies were filmed in the first one, New Jersey, the second one, Connecticut. The sixth one is filmed in Georgia. So all in all, I don't think for a Jason movie you can go wrong with Jason Lives or Friday the 13th Part 6. In my Friday the 13th movie tracker, this is up there with one of the better ones, one of the ones that I like more. First one is still my favorite. The third one is my second favorite. Then it is the fourth one, and the sixth one is my fifth one. So that's my top five. Those are pretty much my top five for all of the Friday the 13th movies, if that's a spoiler for you guys. That is my take on the sixth Friday the 13th movie. My name is Stacia, if you don't know, and I'm just a girl on the internet that likes to talk about movies. And for this spooky Halloween season, I'm going through the Jason movies. I'm toying with now. I was going to go through the first 10, but I think now I am just going to do the ones produced by Paramount Pictures, which would take me to the eighth one. That is very doable for me. I think doing 10 is not so doable for me to get done before Halloween. And spoiler alert, I really don't like any of them after the eighth one. So I just decided to drop the last two. They were really comebacks for the franchise. The first 8, they're the ones produced in the 80s. Not only are produced by Paramount Pictures, the other ones are produced. The 9th one is 1993, and then I think the 10th one is 2003. So I have decided just to do the first 8. Don't hate me. I just don't think I can do the other 2. But if you liked this, I encourage you to subscribe to my channel. I have a goal of trying to get to 500 subscribers by the end of this year, and I'm almost there. So I think I'll reach that goal. No problem. I am to 470-ish. So unless all of this tanks, unless for some reason I have to stop making videos, I think I'll make it. And also it helps me out if you comment on these videos. Besides it helping me out for subscribers and YouTube pushing it to other people, I just like the conversation, that the comments. Yeah, I try to respond to all of them if I can. I like the conversation around film. And I like to hear your guys' views. Do you like the Friday the 13th movies? What is your favorite one? Or if you ever wanted to suggest any movies for me to do, I love that. And also, of course, it helps if you give me a thumbs up, like the video. That always helps. But like I said, my name is Stacia. Thank you for watching. See you next time. Bye.